HeadSpace Radio, we are back with another video. And for those who don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone knows, Charlie Kirk has been assassinated and he is no longer with us. He is the founder of Turning Point USA. He's a conservative who has very controversial views, especially on gun violence and other things as well. Listen, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't wish ill will on anybody. You know what I mean? Like, a man got assassinated. I don't care if you're a public figure or someone walking down the street, whether it's gang violence or one-on-one violence or some guy hiding in a forest somewhere while you're walking and he shoots you and then boom, you're dead. Right? I'm not a fan of any of it, and quite frankly, I think there's too many guns in America. Not just America, in Canada as well. Crime is on the rise. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just saying, listen, man, this is getting too out of hand. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. So he was younger than me. Damn, it's crazy. That is crazy. Man, pretty much, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be real with you. I am not a fan of this guy at all. But I have compassion. You know what I mean? We as humans, we are human. You know, we have to show some humanity. When they show me on the news someone has been killed on TV, black man, white man, gay man, trans man, any man, I'm like, damn, that sucks. This goes the same way because this is a public execution. And I guess I can go further into the conspiracies if I have enough content to talk about part 2. But, yo, this is insane. You know what I mean? So, Charlie Kirk, you know, he has his own little podcast, you know, not little, but like he's got quite a bit following. And what people do more so on the right than they do on the left is they pretty much go to college campuses and have conversations about their views. You know, prove me trans woman is a woman, or gun rights, or, you know, if it's like red pill usually falls on far right type of stuff. You know, why women deserve to vote. You know, some of the stuff can be okay. It's logical. Let's hear what these people have to say. And then some of it could be very just like, bro, you're just here to antagonize people and piss people off, you know? I am for freedom of speech, you know? And again, like, I don't wish this on anybody, you know? I don't wish this on my worst enemy. Like, honestly, I'm here thinking, okay, if someone was going to mess up Charlie Kirk and he's on a campus, chances are he was probably going to get his ass kicked. You know what I mean? The worst case scenario. Same with the fresh and fit dude. You know what I mean? Worst case scenario, I thought, okay, you know, he's saying a lot of crazy shit, or his talking points on this topic, for example, was kind of just out there. You know, all right, yo, he's packing up, he's finishing up, he's ready to leave, he gets jumped. That's it. I'm not saying he should get jumped. I'm just saying I thought that's probably where it would have went. So, I don't know, man. This is crazy. You know, I'm just like you watching this, seen it a few times. And honestly, man, it is not a good look. It's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude was talking and, you know, he had a big group of people there. He was in Utah, so I'm guessing like that's like, the conservative. I don't know. They're just all there, just chilling. Bigger crowd than usual, I would assume. And then boom, like they didn't miss. There wasn't no "we gonna mess this up," shoot you in the ear thing. It was like, nah, bro, we got him. We're gonna get him. Boom, and it was crazy. It was just insane. Guy grabbed his neck, and I'm like, brother, this is nuts. Holy smokes. Yo, could you imagine you got your kids there and they see this happen? You know what I mean? Like, what do you tell them? You see your kids that, what I mean? Imagine, like, here's my thing. I don't know who his family is, Charlie Kirk, but yo, dude, like his family, I'm a little sick today, guys. I'm a little congested. I'm not crying or any of that shit. Like, don't get it twisted. But yo, this guy's family is like, yo, imagine just being like, okay, this man's putting on his shoes, going to work. I'll see you when I come back. They got plans for this doctor's appointment on Wednesday, stuff like that, right? And then find out that this man's been shot in the goddamn neck. And let's be real. When you saw that happen, you knew that wasn't a good look. You know what I mean? That was not a good look. Like, bam. You're like, yo, they gonna hold his neck. The man like lost a shit ton of blood, like right there. Like, I don't know what, like, you know what I mean? What's the doctor supposed to do when they have a situation like that? They gonna rush him to the, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. We can only hope. But yeah. I think it's crazy that a lot of people are celebrating a man's death. And people have to understand that this sets a new precedence, right? If I disagree with you, whether I think you're ignorant, whether I think you're racist, and chances are I could prove both of those very well, then therefore I can go out, get myself a gun, and pop. You know what I mean? Which I think is really messed up. One of the things I thought was pretty messed up as well, I believe, was MSNBC. And this is one hell of reporting right here. They said possibly one of his fans let off a shot in excitement, and it shot Charlie Kirk in the neck. Like, what? if I'm I don't know. Somehow they deserve a lawsuit for saying some shit like that. I don't like this guy one bit, and I can tell you that was some bullshit. Like, you gonna tell me that what? Like, I get it. The man is on the opposing side from you, but like, where the hell is the humanity there? Like, like the likelihood of someone just random in the crowd. Yeah, that's right, Charlie. Bam, bam, bam. And then that bullet ricochets or it just miraculously shoots the one guy in the neck. Like, what are you guys talking about, man? Like, what is shit? Yo, that is a narrative right there. And then the one guy that came out and said he did it. Like, come on, bro, you didn't do shit. And then there's that one guy that was like a younger dude who was like celebrating, somehow he's like in the lens of it all where Charlie Kirk got shot and he's like standing up and he's got his hands out. I mean, that's I gotta go back to how people are celebrating a man's death at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Listen, this is kind of like the Donald Trump situation all over again. I don't like Trump. I don't like his politics, right? But I'm not gonna wish him death. You know what I mean? Granted, things are a little different now with tariffs and whatnot. I'm not a fan of that. I think he's fucking up my country. He's fucking up a lot of people's countries. But I think that, to be honest with you, he's exposed how Canada has been moving, and I'm not a fan of how they've been, sitting on their hands in terms of their natural resources and whatnot. But again, I don't like, even in the worst case scenario of Donald J. Trump, I don't wish him death, whether it's uh, cardiovascular disease or whatever the case may be. Like, if it's something like, okay, bro, if you didn't take care of yourself, that's on you. But I'm not gonna wish this guy get blown up or get shot down like some dog. You know what I mean? There has to be some sense of humanity at the end of the day. Now, granted, and a lot of people's hearts are gonna be happy if he does pass. But that's neither here nor there. That's for another story, I guess. Um, this Charlie Kirk dude, like, people happy because he didn't have the same views as you, or he was very just in your face about it. And I think that that's crazy to me, that you're wishing a person death, celebrating and cheering for glee over a man. Like, if I said, gay people are taking over our education system and they need to be stopped. These are my views, let's just say. And one of these gay rights, trans rights activists are speaking on a college university, and they have their views, and their views might not align with my views. Does that mean I can get a rifle, an assault rifle, an AR-15, or whatever the case is, and then, bam, shoot this person? Yeah, it's just crazy. Sorry about that, guys. I had to disappear for a second. You don't go after someone that has a different opinion than you, because now this thing that you have, this country that you have, America, was freedom of speech, quote unquote. Now it kind of puts you in a tough space. You can't speak on certain things, and now if you actually want to go out to college campuses and actually have a good dialogue with people, this might be in the back of your head. If you gain a big enough following, or if you have a following, or anyone in particular that has a microphone that might have a just opinion than you. Where does it start? Where does it end? What do you do then? Right? So I'm not a fan of this. I think that he should still be living. Do I like this guy? Nah, I don't like this guy at all. But you got to show some compassion for the circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, this could have been Jamar. It could have been Lucy. It could have been whoever ideas they had, whatever ideologies they believed in. They could have been Muslim. They could have been Christian. They could have been Jews. They could have been all types of things. You have the right to speak your opinion. That's the point. That's the thing. If you migrated here, that was a part of the agreement. If you were born here, that was a part of the agreement. Especially in Canada, they it's kind of a little different here too. But in the Western world, things are kind of shifted. I believe in Europe, the UK, a woman in the speaker's corner. The speaker's corner is essentially a place where people tend to talk about religion, and I believe a Christian woman was speaking, and they have debates: Christianity versus Islam, Islam versus Judaism, stuff like that. And she essentially just said, how many Qurans are there? And the status quo is people say, yo, there's only one Quran. And she took out all the versions of the Quran, and a man punched her and attempted to stab her. I believe stabbed her a few times, and she was rushed to the hospital. Before she was rushed to the hospital, I believe she said a prayer. And I think that was messed up, because it's like, bro, like, you can't speak your mind if you have an opposing opinion than me, or if I prove you wrong, then that means that's my life. I should be harmed. That's what we're doing. And we can get into the whole conspiracy thing of it. And I don't know. I guess. I believe what people are saying now, because I wanted to wait a few days, well, a day. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Duty calls. I'm with the baby right now. She's getting fed. It's fun times. It don't matter if there's one person listening, 100 people listening, or 1,000 people listening. I got to take care of this situation first, right? So she doing her thing right now. If I take the bottle out of her mouth, hold on. What happens? No, okay, no, she's good. She's good. All right, but so like, here's the thing, right? This could be the catalyst to set up a lot of things in America. And some people are saying civil war, civil war, civil war. It could be the starting point of, well, I see what I did there. It could be the starting point of something leading into that in that direction. You got President Trump got troops in Washington. He's trying to now have troops in Chicago. I know there was that black man with dreadlocks who stabbed that Ukrainian girl on the train. There's no reason for it. Even if there is a reason, I don't think it justifies the crime of what you've done. And at the end of the day, like, people are very on edge what's going on in America. And people laughing and celebrating about this. I got to go back to that for one moment. Like, that's not a good look. Like, where's your humanity? You know what I mean? Like, if I had that same feeling towards that man or any man, and they just got plastered on the floor on social media or on television for that matter, I'm going to keep that to myself or to my group of people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go out and be so confident on social media and laugh and celebrate and cheer like you just got a new job or you just made a lot of money or whatever the case is. I think that's crazy. I think that's crazy. I think y'all sick, man. I think y'all sick for that. But listen, man. People are saying, we'll get into the conspiracies now, because I don't like to try to talk about a man's death too much. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, and I'm trying to get everything in this one video. So I think I got maybe 10 minutes, 12 minutes left. People are saying that Charlie Kirk was changing his views on a certain faction in politics. Relax, baby. You still getting milk. They're saying that his views were changing on Israel. I believe that's what they were saying. This is the conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. Grain of salt. I don't believe any of this. I'm just putting it out there. This is what people are saying. Just like how people were celebrating on the man's death. I gotta put it out there. I gotta say, do you believe that's the case? And if that is the case, would you now understand why people are so, gung ho, we support blah, 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 this and so on and so forth? Hey, it's a possibility. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the case, America, man, America's been cooked for a long time, and America ain't run by Americans. It's crazy to even think that. America, the free, the brave, the strong, or whatever you want to believe, if it's marketing or not. Listen, America, I think we are on that. I don't wish America ill will, but I have to be honest, what I'm seeing from the outside looking in, and it seems as if this might be a point in America's time where it's looking like the Roman Empire's, demise. I'm going off on a tangent on everything else, but I swear, I promise you, it's all related. It really is. It's like unrest people are shooting each other. Like there's gang violence everywhere. There's mass shootings everywhere. We don't know basic questions. What's a man? What's a woman? Um, People are just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? What's going on? And then you got, you got Brazil, China, India, all those guys. My brain's not working. I'm feeding the baby right now. People screaming the name of the organization. I'm sorry. They come together and they're like, "Yo, we're in South Africa, of course. We're gonna trade in our own currency and screw the American dollar." And Canada looking over here like, "Hey, can we still talk about tariffs? Like, bro, like be on your own, stand on your 2 feet, bro, and cultivate your own path. Like, stop being America's, side chick, bro. Like, come on." Obviously, it's easier said than done, but hold on for a second, boy. Okay, so my bad, I had to disappear again. But listen, I'll be honest with you. A lot of the things this man said was blatantly ignorant. I'm not for that. I don't rock with that. And, especially the things, the reviews he said about black people, black women. It's so weird. Like, when it comes to just ignorant people or people that have very interesting takes on certain topics, their horns show when it comes to racism. Like black women not having the capacity for certain things, or black people being better off before the 1940s or slavery or something like that. Or, it's weird. Like, to me, it's just like, what is wrong with you, dude? So I don't wish anyone death once again. I don't wish anyone ill will. This is a travesty. And if it was anyone of any person, whether they were representing an opposed opinion of mine or a supporting opinion of mine, I don't wish them death. This is just getting crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna hold you guys up too long though. But thank y'all for listening. Well, before I leave, it's crazy. He had a point. He had a talking point where he was like, "I'm all for the First Amendment, and certain people are going to die, and I'm okay with that as long as we have the right to bear our guns, because we need our guns for certain other things." I'm not quoting him 100%, ladies and gentlemen, but you can look that up. And for me, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying that it's okay if someone else dies, so you can carry your gun and have your gun. But now that you're dead, I want to see what the stance is of your wife and kids, because now if there weren't enough guns in this town or the city in this country, you'd still be alive." So it's kind of ironic in a sense. You had that stance, and do we then continue to celebrate your legacy by supporting the right to bear arms and walk around and carry, and if some kid gets shot in a high school, or some kids in the inner city get murked by an opposing gang, we okay with that, because we need to make sure that we're allowed to have our guns. And then I think this talking point only applies if it's nothing to do with him. And I feel like he was comfortable in his position in life, knowing that the likelihood of him getting shot in the neck or at surprisingly a college event would be damn near zero, or not even zero, but very low. Okay, relax. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of poetic in a sense that happened. I'm not cheering and celebrating for it, but it's just like we gotta do something about these damn guns, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're registered or not, in a city or the suburbs, man. We gotta do something with the assault rifles, the pistols, the unmarked guns, all that stuff. And of course with Canada, because that's where I'm from, and I see a lot of stuff that happens in America because of, let's say, for example, America falls into martial law and it's the purge all over again or something like that. Canada might follow suit. Let's be real. Or maybe it's like the hands make tail and everyone wants to run to Canada. I don't know. But see the imagination I have? Endless, needless to say, hey man, listen, we just got to be careful out here, guys. I do not want guns on my cities, my streets. I remember the time. Well, remember the time I wasn't around for them times. I remember the times that people told me when I used to work for like a lot of older heads were like, "Yo, this gun violence, this is nothing, man." Like we used to break dance for, yo, we had a problem, so we used to break dance, or we used to, just fight it out, and then just out of nowhere, man's got a gun. I think shooting someone from a distance, shooting someone from a front, stabbing someone, I think listen, I'll be real with you. I think that's some bitch shit right there. I think that's some whole shit right there. But anyways, I put in my time here. Thank you for listening. This is HeadSpace Radio. And you'll hear from me again, maybe this weekend. Not sure, but thank you for listening. Thank y'all. Peace. And we're out.